Good morning, guys. It is 1:46 a.m. Doing something different. I couldn't sleep. I had this, you know how it gets, right? This desire, this need, this obsession. You're thinking through big decisions late at night. So that's what I did. I figured I would get up and work. Big yawn. That's just the life I have. Okay, so I'm going to tell you about my newest transaction. I would like to point out that this is not a Condo.fund transaction. This is me personally. You guys know I've been happily married for a really long time. What you don't know is that my wife decided to retire recently, and she has decided to work with me buying a property. She wants to, I've spent 20 years learning about what she does in the classroom, and now she wants to spend a little bit of time learning what I do in the real estate side. So I'm really excited by this. Like, I'm over the moon happy about like being able to work with my wife. This has been something that I've wanted to do for a better part of 20 years. Totally excited by it. But this is between Cyndy and I and a couple of, we're just going to do a simple joint venture transaction, simple JV with me and a handful of investors. But yeah, this is really cool. So here's the transaction. It's 3 duplexes, right? You got to understand, like, we live in the Pacific Northwest. Trees are a big deal. There are 4 and possibly 5 or 6 trees that probably need to come down, or at the very least get trimmed up. So there's 4 and possibly 6 really problematic trees. They're not 3 feet around, but they're probably 2.5 feet around. They're big trees, tall 100-foot firs. So first thing we got to do is either prune them or take them down. This one right here is literally, like, it's so close to the house. Like, there's about a 6-foot deck, and then the tree is literally right here. So yeah, definitely need to deal with that. And then, okay, so we have 4 little duplexes, right? And then our goal is to convert them into starter home condos. I know that's a surprise, but we're going to be doing 6 starter home condos. These units are 1,080 square feet each, 2 bedroom, 1 bath, split level, which I think is really cool. I mean, this is a 1977 build, so it's kind of old school. You don't really have split levels being built anymore. That's what this one is. So I like that. Unique about this property, unusual about this property, is that both the bedrooms are on the bottom floor, and all the living, bathroom, kitchen, living room, that's all upstairs. Pretty big fireplace. So that's that. So I think we're going to spend about $20,000 to $25,000 per unit on the interior and exterior of these units. So let's say 10 in the exterior, 10 in the interior renovations. There's a really nice fence along this pathway. This one's really nice. This one's moderately good. This one's non-existent. This is non-existent. So I want to put a fence, probably a 6-foot privacy fence, probably cedar. This is all just chicken wire open to the neighbor's yard. So I definitely want to fence this in at the very, very least, and probably fence this in. But this is a $35,000 to $50,000 ordeal, right? Putting new fencing in is really expensive. It's about $45, $50 a square foot, depending upon what type you get. So that may or may not happen. So my wife and I live in a gated community. That sounds bougie, but we like it. It gives us a sense of security. It gives us a sense of safety. We're in a safe area anyway, but we like having that gate. This is a safe area as well. There's a mental calmness having a gate and a security pad. So that might happen. That's another $30,000. So I have to take into practical expectation about whether it's worth it to do that. Remember, these are starter home condos. So if this fence line costs $10,000 and it allows me to save money on and put a gate, and I can keep this fence line the way it is, right? It's all about trade-offs, right? Economics 101, trade-offs, opportunity costs. So I'm thinking through these problems now. And then when it's all done, these are going to be renoed, right? We got that. We're going to put a little garden, little community living room, basically just a ring of chairs with a nice fire pit, barbecue fire pit, and then a dog run over here. One thing I think really needs to be done is to seal coat the driveway and the parking lot. It's been at least a decade since the parking lot was taken care of, and preventative maintenance and all that stuff. So I really think that's going to be important. Restripe the parking, seal coat that's kind of my plan. I still haven't we have a meeting with the contractors on Saturday to get the construction bids kind of really dialed in. Right now, we're targeting about $180,000 worth of renovation, and that is subject to change. I think we could go up as high as $225,000 as a reno, but still a lot of things in flux. Okay, so you know me, you know our goal. We try to build starter home condos. And so this is the math of what this transaction would look like. So bigger units, nicer yard, better parking, secured parking. These are, I think $300,000 is really an easy price tag for these properties. There is comps, there's surrounding comps in the $400,000 range. So we're well below, we'll be at 80% AMI, I'm certain of. So really happy about that. Down payment, mortgage, interest rates. God, don't know what to do about interest rates, but PITI should be about $2,200. Now, obviously that changes if we can get one of our nonprofit partners to help with with the down payment assistance, that could help substantially. But for now, we're targeting about $2,200 principal, interest, taxes, insurance, and HOA. Now, it is a stretch. The units, they're renting right now at just about $1,600. So that might be a stretch for the current residents. So we really have to look at that a little bit. This number may go down, may also go up, but I'm not sure whether the residents can transition into ownership here. We're going to have some conversations about that. And then here's what it looks like for the investors. We're doing, because this is a really small transaction, really like fast, we'll be in and out in a year. Probably all units will be sold by September or October. That's my goal. We'll only keep it a year just to make sure that we go through and get long-term capital gains rather than short-term capital gains. That's probably the only reason I would keep this for a year and sell the last unit 366 days, something like that. Super fast transaction. We're doing this as a 50-50 split. Obviously, the investors are putting in the money. I'm putting in the work. It should be a really, really fast transaction. I've got a little bit of GP equity in this one right now. I'm sure this number will go up as we go through the due diligence. I'm expecting this to be somewhere north of about $15,000 or $20,000 in various fees and due diligence process. So this, my GP equity will go up a little bit, but for now, so far it's been a really cheap transaction. We're looking at a loan of $810. We are going to offer a 15% rate of return for, it'll be an unsecured loan of about $300,000 based on a 15% monthly coupon. That should be good. So we'll have a total of 1.1, roughly expenses of 1.4. We're going to sell them for 1.8. So there's a pretty solid $300,000-ish profit in it for everyone. Because we're getting this $300,000 as subordinate debt beyond the senior loan, that really really increases the equity multiple, right? This is our true north metric. As long as this number is above 135, we decide it's a good transaction to go after. But because we're doing some financial engineering and getting this subordinate debt, that's why we're able to get the equity multiple up. So that's pretty cool. Let me share with you another. So I'm going to share this tab. This is the property. This is on Zillow right now. By the way, we're buying it for $900,000, not 1.2. So I'm pretty happy with that. This is the property. That's that tree that I said is literally just smashing up against the back deck of this unit. It's super close to the building. So that one's probably going to have to come down. These two are beautiful. I don't want to take them down, but they're kind of wrecking the yard. I don't know. I'm still debating that. So just kind of give you a rough view of the property. It's dated, right? This is vintage 1977. I had this kind of stuff in my house in the early 80s, and oh my God, it's so old. So we're probably going to change this railing quite a bit and make it a little bit more modern. We're probably going to lose some of this molding. I'm not really sure. Check out this fireplace. I'm not really sure how to make this better. I thought about painting little smiley faces on the rocks or something. I don't know how to make the fireplace better. So another view, back deck. We're going to have to definitely, at the very least, paint it and seal it. I don't like the baseboard. I always think of military housing and how crappy the baseboards made you feel. So, and check out this lamp. Oh my God, I could get $1,000 for this thing at a vintage store. It's really hideous. Oh, and check out, we have euphemistically referred to this as baby shit yellow. Gotta love these countertops. What's really interesting is this is actually really good quality cabinetry. It's been around for 50 years and it's still working fine. So my guess is we're probably just going to take the countertops off, resurface or reface the cabinetry, and just call it good. Probably going to get new appliances. This, I don't even know. What is this color? What do you call this color? Yeah, the dishwasher is probably going to go as well. So, and again, check out the lighting. This house has not been touched 5 decades. It is original everything. So it is pretty fun. Like, who does this? I can't remember the last time I ever saw a little countertop like that just hiding the stove. I think it's pretty amusing. But I like the layout of the kitchen. It's really nice. The idea that you're facing your guest. If you got, let's say, a table here, you've got your dining room table right here, and you're actually having a conversation with people in the other room. I really do like, it's a small, my wife calls this a one butt kitchen. Like literally you got one person in the kitchen and that's pretty much the extent. I do like, for a small place, I like the layout of it. These are bedrooms downstairs. Ta-da. Check out this. Oh my God. It's just so, like, it's pretty rare when you find a property that has been basically left alone and not renovated, right? I mean, this mirror, the etching, that's just time. That's what happens to mirrors that you haven't touched for 50 years. So, I mean, it is really interesting. You don't really see properties that have, especially rental properties, that haven't been updated for 50 years. It is pretty unusual. Washer dryer hookup in each unit. So that's fantastic. I'm over the moon happy about this. This on campus and Laurelhurst, that's a $10,000 reno bill to do what's already done here. So I'm pretty happy happy by that. And that's the complex again. So these trees, look at, like, who leaves a tree here? Who leaves a tree here? But I do like it, right? Look at all the shade in the midday sun. You have all this shade, which I'm sure is extremely helpful for heating and utilities. I think so. This is why I'm up at 2 o'clock in the morning. This is why I'm thinking through what are our options, what are the possibilities. Okay, so now I'm going to take you to the lending side. So this is the lending. I'm trying out this new company. Well, they're new to me. They've been around for 3+ years, 4+ years. Bozeman Capital, actually managed by a good friend of mine, Kunal. So he's been asking me to use his company for lending for the better part of 2 years. And I finally found one that fit in his box for lending. And I got to say, this is hands down the easiest lending process I've been through in years. We've been in 3 transactions: Campus, Laurelhurst, and Prizery. And each one of them have been just major frustrations from the lending perspective. And this going through Bozeman has been spectacularly easy. So I'm pretty happy with it. So this is our loan. There's not a bank on the planet who likes our business model. So we always get these really horrible interest rates. That's fine. It works. Believe it or not, it doesn't really matter whether I get an 8% or a 12% because the period of time is so short on these transactions that it really doesn't impact our returns very much. Small loan, we're getting a 75% loan. So that's our loan. That's our improvement budget. Processing fee is cheap. We've been charged 2% regularly on the other transactions. Appraisal is cheap. We've been at $5,000 and $6,000, $7,000 for the others. Draw fee, oh my God, check this out. So we've been spending $900 for every draw that we've had at Campus, and we're getting the same crap at Laurelhurst. And Bozeman, they're charging us $200 for a draw fee. And all we got to do is take our camera and scan the rooms that we've been renovating. So that's going to be huge. So I'm pretty happy with that. And then just, we've got a due diligence folder. This is, what's here? Share this tab instead. So we've got our due diligence folder. It's pretty straightforward. I just wanted to show you kind of what we look at when we're going through a transaction. Every transaction is different. Every due diligence folder is different. The utilities are always different. So I just wanted to kind of show you what that part of it is. And then ultimately for our investors process, this is the underwriting. This is kind of the end all be all of everything. And so I always just put in the spreadsheet, I'll include all of that stuff, right? Yeah, that concludes it. I'm going to go back to this and share that tab. So my name is John. I'm the founder of Condo.fund. This is, once again, not a Condo.fund transaction. This is just me and a couple of friends and my wife specifically walking through this process. She really wanted to see what we do. She's retiring. I don't think she's going to join me in the business, but I think it's cool as hell that my wife wants to learn. So she's been such a curious, her whole life, she's just had this super curious mind. And now she's got time to learn what I do. I've spent years going through and learning about robotics and going to robotics tournaments and working with her kids and going on field trips. I'm going on a field trip next Tuesday. So I've spent 20 years learning her world, and I am over the moon happy that she wants to learn my world. So this is just a transaction with my wife and I. So I wanted to share it. I thought it was cool. It's a cute little project, profitable and fast. So yeah, my name is John. Reach out if you got questions. Love to help. Take care. Bye-bye.